Hello. It's good to see you. Today we are going to talk about some hypothetical things in my neighborhood. If you've never watched one of these neighborhood gossip videos before, I think I have a whole playlist of them if you want to get caught up. There are whole story arcs, character development. May or may not be true. Guess we'll never know. This evening, oh my gosh, this evening, I sat down, I took a shower. I had a very busy evening. I went to an exercise class. I came home. I washed my car. I vacuumed it out. I swept and mopped the entire downstairs. I washed dishes. I made dinner. And I came up here and I took a shower. And I know I'm not dressed super fancy today. This is what I put on after my shower. I did decorate it a bit though. I put on a necklace and some earrings. And I folded my sleeves to make it fancy. It's about 11 o'clock at night, so this is about as fancy as it's going to get. But I sat down and I said, we're just going to sit down and just type some of this stuff out. Well, what happens when I start doing that is I completely lose track of time. I didn't realize it, but I sat on the floor with my laptop and my notepads, and I was apparently there for about 2 hours and didn't realize how long I had been there. So I was supposed to get started on this video about an hour ago. But I'm really enjoying. You kind of get into the story, and it's like watching a movie, and I just lose track of time. I need to set an alarm for myself. So that's what I've been doing. I'm nowhere near done. I know people keep asking me, "Are you done with that book?" I'm not. I'm not. I think it's going to be worth the wait. It's a heck of a story. That's all I know to tell you. It has more twists and turns than River Road did, and I didn't expect that when I started. I had no idea it was going to go like this, and it's even surprised me. I feel like I don't write it. I just sit down and I write down what I see and hear, and it's something. Wow. So okay, enough of that. Yeah. So what's been going on around here? Well, for a long time it was kind of quiet, but we have had a few things happen. They are finally going to pave our street. I cannot tell you how happy I am. We have been waiting. We've been waiting, I'd say almost a year. Now they paved. Okay, there are, like grids of streets around here. All the other streets have been paved and they've been done for months. Okay, our street for some reason has cooties, like they didn't want to pave it. And I don't know why. And I have not been able to get anybody on the phone or any other way to find out did y'all just forget the street? Did you just forget it? You can't get anybody to answer you on stuff like that. But anyway, I put on a fresh face of makeup for this video, and I'm looking. I haven't actually looked at it. I don't know if I look bad. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah. So yesterday they came down through. You know that where they chew up the street so it leaves it all rough and bumpy so they can resurface it. They take off like the top layer of the street. Well, they started working on doing that. They got about halfway down the street. And, okay, Joe next door, the guy, if you're not familiar, Joe next door bought his house from his nephew. I guess it was about 2 years ago now. He won the lottery. And I don't know exactly how much he won, but I know he bought that house, and he has two ladies live with him. It was Itchy and Scratchy, but then the original Scratchy moved away, and then he found this much younger version, like Scratchy 2.0. She's still there. Well, Joe recently bought this old MG. Remember the little convertibles, the little tiny cars, the MGs? Well, he bought one, and it's fully restored. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love this car. And it's that really pretty dark green. I always wanted one of those when I was in high school. I wanted one of those, or a little Triumph, the small convertibles. I just thought they were adorable. I wanted one, and my dad said, don't buy one of those. They are horrible. They're not dependable cars. You need to get something better than that. But it was my money. Like, I'm working and saving up money. He said, don't buy an MG. Don't buy a Triumph. Do not buy one. They're terrible, terrible cars. So my sassy self went and bought a Pontiac Fiero, which was really stupid. I spent more on repairs than I did on that stupid car. Anyway, so Joe has an MG, super cute. I love it. It has that little tiny trunk with a little luggage rack thing on it. Adorable car. I love this car. Anyway, it's not his only car. He has this other car. It's like some kind of really fancy foreign car. I don't know what it is. I've never seen anything like it. It's very cool, but he has the MG. And he's mad. He actually went out there hypothetically. So they're out there, they have, of course, they put up the cones and the signs. You need to get all your cars off the street within 24 hours, blah, 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 because we're going to be doing road work. I was more than happy to oblige. We will make sure there was nothing on the streets. But that was a problem for me, but I'll tell you in a minute about that. It was actually very exciting. Okay, so Joe's mad. He's mad. He said, I cannot drive my MG on this street. He's telling me this. I'm out there trying to mow my yard. I can never mow my yard in peace. Every time I try to mow my yard, somebody has to come talk to me. Like I have answers. I don't have answers. I don't know what it is about me, but people, and maybe this happens to everybody, random strangers will just come tell me stuff. Like, they have a problem and they'll just come tell me, like, why are you telling me this? I don't have an answer for you. I don't know what you want from me. It's weird. All throughout my 20s, the entire decade of my 20s, every store I went in, people thought I worked there. I could be dressed like this and go into Target and somebody with a purse on my arm shopping and somebody would ask me if I worked there. I mean, I don't know. I looked like a generic employee in every retail establishment throughout my 20s, apparently. But after I hit 30, it kind of stopped, which I was grateful for that. Anyway, so I was out there mowing and Joe, I see him standing on the porch and he's like this. And he's looking down the street, like that. He's just shaking his head. There's nobody out there, but he's being all flamboyant, like I think he wants me to notice and say, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't want to ask what's wrong. I don't care. I'm trying to mow, and it's getting dark, and I didn't really care. So anyway, so he comes stomping over. He said, can you believe this? I said, what? He said, I have been waiting for 8 months to get this car. It's been restored. You would not believe what I've had to pay to get this car restored. He's one of these people that likes to kind of humble brag about how much money he spends on things. You wouldn't believe. Guess how much I spent? I said, I'd rather not. He said, just go ahead, guess. How much do you think? I said, I don't know, $10,000? I wish. Oh, it's way more than that. Okay, dude. I think they're now going to pave this road. Why didn't they do it before? I said, I don't know. I guess there was a reason, but I don't know. It's like they were waiting for me to get my car back. It was like they were waiting for it to be done. I am not. After what I spent buying the car, getting it restored, and all the stuff I had to go through, I am not going to drive it on this road. It's not. I mean, how am I supposed to drive it on it? The road is all bumpy. It has grooves in it. And I'm thinking, dude, our street's not that long. It's not going to be like that for long. Typically, once they shave off that top layer, they come back and resurface it pretty quickly. I mean, by the end of the week, they'll probably be done. It's kind of noisy during the day when they're working out there, but it's worth it. It's worth it because our street has looked jacked up for so long. And everybody else's street is so lovely. It's all resurfaced and has the lines painted and it looks beautiful. And our street looks like something out of a horror movie. I mean, it's just terrible. It's got cracks and potholes and it's just awful. I would think he would be happy that the potholes were getting filled in, but no. He has the ability to find the bad side of everything. And it's all about him, of course. Everything is about him. How am I supposed to drive my MG on this street? I said, well, you could just not drive it on the street until they're done. Oh, am I supposed to not go anywhere? I said, dude, I don't know. I just want to, I'm going to get back to mowing my yard now. He said, I think, is there somebody I can call? Like, is there something I can do? I said, what exactly would you do? I mean, they're going to pave it. They're not going to stop right in the middle of the process because you have a car you don't want to drive on it. Well, maybe if I have, have a few words with him and explain things. Okay, dude, do that. I'm sure that'll make all the difference in the world. Now, of course, we still have Crazy Lady. We call her Crazy Lady. There is a lady who, she doesn't live on this street. She lives a couple streets over. If she hears me mowing, she likes to come scream at me. She's the one who hypothetically pulled up Miss Margaret's flowers. Still don't know what that was about. She did have to pay Miss Margaret for that in court. She comes and screams at me when I'm trying to mow. There's actually, I don't know if you can hear it there. That's either itchy or scratchy. There's somebody over here. I can hear them out talking. Sometimes they take boots out, to go boom boom outside. They might be outside in the yard with boots, but if you hear a lady, that's probably one of them taking the dog out. The rooster has not come back, hypothetically. Not really sure what happened to the rooster. Boots is still there. I think Boots is pretty much there full time. I think they've kind of given up on trying to make Boots like... Okay, I don't know who that was. Somebody's honking. There is no telling. There's always something going on over there. I think they kind of gave up theoretically on making Boots like this internet dog. I don't know. I guess that's a thing. I don't really do anything. It's on Instagram. I don't do anything with Instagram. And if you follow me on there, I'm sorry. I don't know. I just can't get into it. Every time I go on Instagram, it just makes me depressed, and I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. It's kind of like Target. Every time I go in Target, I just want to get out. I'm like a roach when the lights come on. There's just something about Target that just makes me very anxious, and I don't know why. The only time I'm not anxious is when I'm making a video, and I think that's because I'm distracted. Overall, to just browse in Target, I don't like it in there. Something about it just makes me feel weird. It just makes me edgy, like I'm on edge. It doesn't make me edgy, I'm just on edge. I totally forgot what I was saying. Okay, so Joe said he was going to call somebody. He's going to have words with somebody at the DOT, and I know so-and-so, and he's really high up and this and that. I'm just going to explain to them who I am and who my friend is. You do that, buddy. I'm going to get back to mowing. Well, it must not have worked. Okay, so this was when they were putting out the cones, right? And saying, get your cars off the street. And Scratchy had to get her vehicle off the street. She was mad because they have a giant garage. They have a giant driveway. I'm jealous of their garage. Their garage is about the size of my house. And she's mad because she likes to park on the street because they don't want to have to move cars around to get in and out. And she just parks on the street. And she's mad. She's going to have to move her car for a few days, and she's mad about it. We're not supposed to park on the street anyway, but they don't do anything about it. They don't really enforce it. Anyway, so that was when he was mad. Like he saw all the cones. I'm just going to tell them. They don't know. Maybe they don't know I live on the street. I'm pretty sure they don't care that you live on the street. Well, it must not have worked because they started chewing up the street, which I'm so happy. I don't care if he can't drive his silly little car. I'm not worried about it. Like, dude, really? He hardly ever goes anywhere anyway, so I don't really know why he cared. So I can only imagine the ranting and raving that has gone on over at that house since they started chewing up the street. But hopefully it will be over soon. I'm so happy because we will finally have a nice paved street and it will be beautiful. Our street has just looked so bad for so long, and it's even more noticeable now that all the other streets are done and they all look good. And then you get on ours, it's like, oh my god, what happened here? So there's that. But I did a thing today I've never done before. Well, I didn't do it, somebody else did it, but I paid them to do it, so it's almost like I did it hypothetically. It's not that exciting. I'm pushing 50, so this is exciting for me. Okay, we have garbage bins here, the big wheelie bins. We have one for trash and one for recycling. Now the one for trash is green and the one for recycling is brown. And it seems to me it should be the other way around. Like do you think the green can would be for recycling? It's not. I don't know. And you go over to Jamestown and their cans, they only have a can for recycling and it's blue. And then in High Point, I think both cans are blue. I don't really know. It's weird. I don't know how they determine this stuff. So anyway, but these cans are really big. You know, they have wheels and a little hinged lid, and they're made of this really thick plastic. Heavy duty. Well, okay. I don't know if you saw my video of the interesting looking little phallic mushrooms that have been growing in my little area. Well, they keep popping up. Okay. And the way I've been dealing with them is I had a box of disposable latex gloves from some video I did, and I had a bunch of them in there. So I'll just put on disposable gloves, and I go out there with a big Ziploc bag. It's like I'm collecting evidence from a crime scene. I go out there and I will get them up, lift them up out of the ground. They stink to high heaven. They're supposed to smell like rotting flesh, and it's the most disgusting smell. And they draw flies, and it's awful. And it's been raining a lot, so every morning I go out there, and there are some new little erections out there, and I have to get my gloves, get my bag, put them in the bag, seal it up, put it in the trash. And I try to get some of the dirt around it, trying to get as much of the spores or tendrils or whatever. It's funny because when they first start coming up, they're balls, and then it becomes a little dick shroom like that. But I'll go out there every day and pull those stupid things up, get all the little dirt around them, put them in the bag, seal it up, put the gloves in the bag, seal it up, put it in the trash can. Even though they were sealed up, it made the inside of the trash can stink like so bad. It smelled horrible. It smelled like death, which it's supposed to smell. Those mushrooms smell like that. And it was just horrible. And the inside of the trash can was already gross. It just gets that way. Well, I decided, and I made this appointment probably 3 weeks ago before they started doing anything with the road, so it wasn't even a consideration. So I contacted this company called Bin Clean, BIN-Clean, and they come out and clean your trash cans for you. I never knew there was a company that did that. There is. And they come out and they will steam clean your trash cans for you. They come out in the cutest little truck. It looks like a little garbage truck. It's adorable. It is so cute. Because they had to come out today for the first time. But here's the problem. They were doing the street out here. So I had to go out hypothetically and talk to the guys and say, look, I got some guys coming to clean my trash cans, and they contacted me and said, we can't come down there if they're doing construction. You're going to have to bring them up to the end of the street. Now tell us which end you want to go to. So I told them, and they said, well, you're going to have to wheel them up there. We'll let you know when we're coming. So I had to wheel my trash cans one at a time up to the end of the street. And I work from home, so this was basically part of my lunch break, I guess. And so I wheeled them up there, but I got to watch them do it. I've never seen it happen. I've never seen how they do it. So they take the cans. At first, they have this wand that comes off the truck, and it's a pressure washer. So they thoroughly pressure wash the outside. They even pressure wash the little hinges for the lid. Very thorough. They pressure wash the wheels, the bottom, everything. And then they they spray this cleaner degreaser or something inside the cans. And there were just layers of filth inside the trash can. The recycle bin wasn't that bad. And I got to watch them. And so then the truck has these little arms on the back, and they kind of grab the cans both at the same time and then just tip them into the truck. And then it blasts out the inside like a colonic or something. Just like sprays. And it took them about probably 20 minutes to thoroughly clean these cans. And when they got done, and then they sprayed this lovely, like a deodorizer kind of thing inside of it. And they were lovely. My trash cans have never looked like that. They were so clean and they smelled so nice. Oh my goodness, it was wonderful. The only problem was, right in the middle of this, crazy lady comes marching down the street. I guess she heard the commotion. I don't know. And she starts screaming at me and saying I was stealing her trash cans. I said, ma'am, these are not your trash cans. And she kept swearing up and down they were her trash cans. It was so embarrassing because the the bin clean guy was standing there like, what is going on? What is the deal here? Why would she clean your cans? You know. But she screamed and hollered, and then she points at the guy, and she goes, you have brown hair. You have brown hair. And she has blonde hair. And then she just turned around and stomped back up the street. That's very random. Hypothetically, that's pretty much how my interactions with her go. And she left. She didn't say anything else. I said, I'm sorry. She does that all the time. I do apologize. Sorry you had to hear that. He said, trust me, ma'am, in this job, I've heard much crazier stuff than that. That's fine. So, but yeah, the trash cans were beautiful, but then I had to roll them back down to my house. They said, we're sorry, but we can't do that. I said, don't worry about it. I guess it's a liability thing or something. Anyway, I was so happy with that. I think I'm going to have them start doing it like quarterly or something like that. That's awesome. So, got that done. Oh, there was another cause for concern. Okay, so I have this company that comes and treats my yard. And I had one, if you heard the whole debacle with my grass, I had this other company doing it, and they were doing a terrible job. My yard was full of weeds. But then I had this other company come, and they just killed everything off and started over. And my yard it's beautiful. I love it. It just looks like green carpet. It's gorgeous. And it stays green year round. So this was when I found out, hypothetically, that I have a new neighbor. This was before they came and chewed up the street. So the company that came out to treat my yard, they come out every 6 weeks or so and do different treatments throughout the year. I think I have an aeration coming up in about a month or so. Anyway, so they come out, they have their big truck, and it has the name of the company on it and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't think anything of it. And then after they left, so I work from home, like I said. So I'm working, and I saw that they left. And I didn't go back to work. And a few minutes later, my doorbell rings. I go to the door, and it was the most bizarre thing. It was so surreal, and I thought about you guys almost instantly. About 2 seconds into this conversation, I thought, oh my God, Harvest has moved into my neighborhood. There's this lady. Okay. She looks maybe like she's in her late 50s, early 60s. It's kind of hard to tell with some people. Anyway, she apparently is the mom of, hypothetically, there's a married couple that lives down the street, and she is the mom of one of them. I don't know who, but she told me, I live down here, and I knew the house she was talking about because it has a little bird bath in the front yard, and it's really pretty. It has like mosaic tiles on it, stuff. Beautiful. She was telling me I live down there. I said, oh, nice. She goes, yeah, I don't want to be that person. And I'm thinking, then don't. I love that in comments. Like, I don't want to be that person, then don't. Stop right there. You don't have to be that person. And I'm going, what is she about to say? She had on a hat like Harvest would wear. It was like a knit hat, right? It's like 90 degrees outside. I'm like, why do you have on a hat like that? Are you okay? But she had on a hat like something Harvest would wear. And she goes, I don't want to be that person. But I was out for my walk, and that train scared me. I happened to see that truck parked in front of your house. Were they coming to see you, or were they going? I couldn't quite tell if they were at your house or this house. I said, no, they were at my house. Oh, well, if you don't mind me asking, what were they doing? I said, well, I don't know. They left a summary of what they were doing. They were probably putting out fertilizer or something. I don't know. They just come and do what they do. She said, again, God, that train is annoying. Okay, that train did not get hugged enough as a child because it kept on won't, won't, won't. I hope nobody was on the track. I think he's finally stopped. Theoretically, this little lady, she's very small, tiny little lady, just a little twig of a lady. And she goes, again, I don't want to be that person, but, and I know you don't know me. We'll call her Vera. You don't know me. but you really need to stop doing that. Okay, that company, I guarantee you, they use harmful chemicals. You do not need to be putting that stuff on your grass. Do you have kids? Yes, it's terrible for your kids. Terrible. They're gonna get cancer. And I said, well, ma'am, that actually this company is, they're, as far as like using environmentally friendly products and stuff like that, they're way better than any other company you're gonna find around here. I don't really worry about it, and I don't plan to stop. I mean, I appreciate your concern, but I'm going to continue using them to take care of my grass. She goes, well, I'm just saying there are just better options out there. If you could just do the work and do some research, you could, first of all, you could probably save a lot of money, and do the work yourself. I'm telling you, you don't need to deal with them. But she went on something about, you need to get some vinegar and some lime and some this and some that, and you just need to know how to mix it together. I could come help you. We could do it together. I'm like, no, no, we don't. And it was frustrating because I was trying to work. And she totally broke my train of thought by coming to my house for this reason. And I was being lectured. It was like being lectured by one of my own characters. It's basically just, you need to do better. Do better. If you care about your kids, if you care about the neighborhood, if you care about the world in general, you would do better. Do better. I don't want to be that person, but do better. So she went away, but she just wanted to let me know. Bad, bad, bad. Don't. Whatever chemicals they're spraying, it's bad. Which, I don't know. But honestly, I did my research. These people are actually pretty dang awesome. The stuff they use, they're way better than the people I was using before. Not just because my grass looks better, but because the company I used before did use some products that I wasn't too fond of. And these people don't. I think another train. I hear it. Maybe it'll be quieter. So I have a new neighbor. We'll call her Vera. I have a feeling we're going to hear from Vera again, theoretically. She lectured me about that. She didn't mention the bin cleaning. I'm kind of surprised. Maybe she didn't see it. She probably didn't, because it was probably too far down the street for her to see. Plus, if she was out for her little walk, maybe she wasn't even here when that was going on. I don't know. I wonder if she's met Crazy Lady yet. I can only imagine. It would be like watching Harvest try to communicate with Crazy Lady. Now that could be interesting. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be mean to this person. Hypothetically, she has cussed both of my kids out while they were waiting for the bus. And after that, I kind of lost a lot of sympathy I had for her. And I had to start taking my kids to school and picking them up because I didn't know what she would do. So, yeah. So we have Joe's car, which I guess he's just not going to drive it. He put a cover on it. He got like a cover to put on it. I don't know why he won't just put it in the garage. Like, that seems like that'd be the smartest thing to do. You talk about how much money you spend on this car, and then you just leave it sitting out like that. Oh, I didn't tell you about what happened lately. Okay. Hypothetically, I have a little storage area on the back of the house, and it has a separate door and everything. And somebody got into it. This was about 6 months ago. Somebody got in there. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Hypothetically, somebody allegedly got into the building because I left it unlocked one night. I didn't think about it. And there's a lot of that kind of thing around the neighborhood. Like, in the middle of the night, people will rummage through unlocked cars and, storage buildings that aren't locked, things like that. And I knew better. I just forgot to lock it. And but they didn't take anything, which I was relieved. I mean, I could tell. I mean, the gate was propped open to the backyard. The door was open, and you could tell everything in there had kind of been rifled through, but nothing was taken. As far as I could tell, there was nothing gone. So I was really relieved. Like, thank God. I'm going to make sure to keep it locked, so I don't do that again. But I started thinking about, like, well, my stuff's not good enough to take. But there's good stuff in there. Like I had a nice ladder, my lawnmower. Like, I can't believe my stuff's not good enough to steal. What the heck? You went to the trouble to prop my gate open so you could, I guess, get the stuff out. I was kind of offended. Like, you don't even want to take my stuff. Dang. So, anyway, after that, there were 2 more occasions where the lock was messed with. Like, it looked like somebody took a knife and just like stabbed at the lock, and the lock was all jacked up. One time I noticed it and it wasn't too bad, but then a couple weeks later somebody had done it again and it was way worse. I ended up just having to replace the entire thing. It was just so messed up. So I had already thought about having some more cameras installed around the house, and working on just getting, I have multiple cameras inside, outside, like around the entire perimeter of the house now. And so now, if anybody steps foot on my property, anything bigger than a possum steps foot on my property, I get a text and a picture immediately of whatever it is. And they came back. And 3 of my outside cameras caught them. I mean, just in living color. And I had lights on all around the house. We got a really good look at their faces. There were 2 guys, theoretically. They were identified by the police. And I did press charges for trespassing. They didn't take anything, but they did go around to the door again, tried to open it. They hit it with something and then left. So they tried again. I don't know if it was the same ones or not, theoretically, hypothetically, allegedly, but I don't think they're going to come back. Not to my house anyway, but they'll just probably go to somebody else's house. But that was kind of nice. The cameras paid off almost instantly, which was nice. So that was satisfying. Like, it was a worthy investment to have those put in. Dudes and trucks. The dudes and trucks had the hole that was on up the road, right? Now that was in the past, and they moved down the road, and they were doing something down there. Well, then they went back to the original spot, and they were digging another hole, kind of in the same place, but not exactly the same. But then they must have abandoned that, hypothetically, allegedly. I love using those words wrong because it makes people mad, so I do it more. Allegedly, hypothetically, theoretically, they went away, and I didn't see them. But this one day, this was right before they started chewing up the road, they came driving down the street. I recognized one of the trucks. I saw the truck and I recognized it because it's like the guy's personal truck, and it had a dent on the kind of the driver's side on the back. And I recognized it, and I saw the dude, and I recognized the dude. I said, holy crap, that's one of the dudes in trucks. And he had one of the other dudes with him, hypothetically, and they came creeping down the street, and they're just looking like this. They're just looking. Well, what are they looking for? So I just opened the door, and I just stood there, and I'm just looking at them. And they stopped, hypothetically stopped, right in front of my house. And they're looking at me, and I'm looking at them. And then the driver, he had on like a baseball cap. He just kind of tipped his cap and just crept on up the road. I wonder if they're going to do something around here, like even closer than they were before, because they were doing something kind of off the road, and there were these flags, like these, down in the ground, heading down to where they were working. And then all that went away. It was like it all just vanished, like it was never there. The hole down there vanished like it was never there. It was weird. So now, at least a couple of them are creeping down my street. Now, it may not have anything to do with whatever they're doing. Of course, all I ever got out of them, if you've watched these before, hypothetically, all I got out of them was, we're with the pipeline, ma'am, and that's all he would say. The other dudes wouldn't say anything. These dudes were not the one that said that. These were 2 of the other dudes, but I recognized them, and I recognized that truck, because I call them dudes in trucks, because these guys, there would be, anywhere from 15 to 30 trucks parked all along the road on both sides, And there were these dudes, and they all drove trucks. It was like a requirement. Like, I guess you can't work on this thing unless you have a truck for some reason. Dudes in trucks. There were all these dudes, and they'd have on their hard hats, and they drove their trucks, and they all parked up and down the road, and they'd stand around the hole drinking coffee, talking to one another. I never really saw anything go on out there. They just kind of all stood around looking down in the hole. And one day they were all just gone, and the hole was gone and everything. It was like that hole was never there. I mean, the field was full of broom straw. Hypothetically, like nothing ever happened there. It was weird. I don't know, kind of weird illusion that was, but anyway, it was strange. Hypothetically. Trip got rid of his vroom vroom bike. I think he gave up on it. Now, if you remember Trip lives one street over. And Trip, I don't know his name actually, but he looks like a Trip. He looks like his name would be Trip with 2 P's, and his dad still calls him Sport, even though he's probably about 35 by now. He lives with his parents, and he has a Tesla. He's had that Tesla for a bit, and a really nice truck. He's not one of the dudes in trucks. I don't know what he does for a living. He seems to be home most of the time these days. Maybe he works from home. I don't know. A lot of us do. This whole neighborhood, like, it seems like most of us here work from home at least part of the time. I work from home exclusively. I work for a company that's not even in this state, which is fine because it's fine. But, yeah, so Trip got rid of the vroom vroom bike because I haven't heard him messing with it. He still has his wing wing bike. It's one of those little crotch rockets, wing 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 wing. He still has one of those. But I'm so glad. I hope I never have to hear that vroom vroom bike again. He tried and tried for months to get that thing to run, and then he'd get mad at it, and he'd hit it with a wrench, and he'd throw his tools around, and his dad would come out there and tell him to calm down. And he would just get mad, but I haven't seen him messing with it. I haven't heard it lately, so I am hoping he just finally got rid of it. I don't know. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. But what he does, he'll take the wing wing bike, park it at the end of the driveway, and take pictures of himself on the bike. Just no. He'll take pictures and then put the bike up and go back in the house. That's Trip. He's still living over there. He still has his Tesla. He has a nice truck. It's some kind of it's like a Chevrolet Silverado or something. It's really big and shiny and expensive looking. Yeah. I don't know. That is about it. I cannot think of anything else that has happened. Miss Margaret is happy with her new flowers that the lady had to pay to replace. She got mad. No. Oh. Theoretically, that's how I first heard about Vera. Because Miss Margaret told me. When was this? This was before she came to talk to me. I was aware that there was a new person in the neighborhood. And the way Miss Margaret described her, I thought, oh my God, it sounds like Harvest. Anyway, Vera went over to Miss Margaret's house one day and knocked on the door. And according to Miss Margaret, theoretically, this is what she said. She goes, I hate to bother you. I smell fresh baked bread. I have an impeccable sense of smell. And I smelled bread baking. Could it be you by chance? I kind of figured it would be. You're kind of elderly, and I just figured maybe you were over here baking bread. And Miss Margaret said she got mad. She said, I'm an old lady. That don't mean I'm always over here baking stuff. I may be old, but that doesn't mean I'm always over here doing that. I wasn't baking nothing. I was watching Young and the Restless, and she bothered me. Hypothetically. She said, well, no, I'm not baking anything. Why do you ask? She said, well, it just, to me, it smelled like it might have had something in it of concern. It smelled slightly metallic, and I just wanted to check. And I want to find out, do you know who might be baking? Because I think I need to have a word with them about their ingredients, because I think there may be something in there of concern. And she said that. I'm thinking, oh my God, she doesn't watch my channel. I thought, oh my God, Miss Margaret had a conversation with Harvest. It's like worlds are colliding or something. Maybe Christian was onto something with that whole dimensional merge thing. Like, are you serious? Did she really say that? She did. She came over. Now, Miss Margaret lives closer to her than I do. It's all down that way. She was more mad about the fact that she was missing her soap opera and somebody assumed that she was baking something. I'm old, but I don't mean I'm baking nothing. I got better things to do, like watch soap operas. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, that was funny. If nothing else, hypothetically, having a neighbor like Miss Vera, well, she's older than me, I guess I should call her that. I don't know. Having a neighbor like that would probably give me some good material for harvest. One of the reasons I haven't really done a lot of role plays though is because when I'm working on this, for some reason it takes up whatever I need to do role plays. Like it all goes in here, and I don't really have any left for a role play. Like I don't want to do them. I don't know. It's hard. So yeah, but if I do anything with harvest, I'm gonna have to keep a notepad like by the door, and I'll just start writing down the stuff that she says. Or I'll have to keep up with other neighbors and see if she says anything to them. She could be a wealth of information. Oh my goodness. I don't know if she's here to stay long term or if she's just here for a little while. I don't know. But it should be interesting to see what comes of little Miss Vera down the street down there. Yeah, so she's being that person, and I have a feeling she's going to continue being that person because some people just can't help but be that person. They cannot have an unexpressed thought. They got to tell you. Especially if it's critical, they got to tell you. They will preface it with something like that. You know, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be that person. Well, here's my advice. If you ever find yourself saying that, just don't. Just stop. You don't have to be that person. You can change today. You cannot be that person. I don't know, though. I think some people can't help it. It's like a compulsion. Anyway, that is everything I know theoretically about my neighborhood. Yeah, it's been pretty quiet, but maybe things will pick up. Of course, you know, school starts next week. I've been busy with that, you know, open houses, getting, you know, filling out forms, all the forms. Oh my God. Everything. Get them back in school. And once they're back in school, I think I'll be able to concentrate better. It's hard to do videos during the day when they're here because it's just hard. But maybe once they're back in school, I'll be able to do that. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again really soon.